pretty amazing, isn't it? Where we are now. Like, you can basically chat with a computer and have it do some really complex stuff.
Totally.
But anyone who's actually tried to get an AI to do exactly what they want, well, they know it's not always that simple.
No, it really isn't.
And that's why this whole area, prompt engineering, is just blowing up. And, if you're like me, you want to get past the hype and figure out what actually works.
Absolutely. These large language models, LLMs, they're incredibly powerful, yeah, but they can't read minds. Not yet.
Oh, not yet. Not yet.
So the real key, the way to unlock what they can really do, is learning how to talk to them effectively. And that's prompt engineering in a nutshell.
Okay, got it. So for this deep dive, we're really going to focus. We're going right into Lesson 1 of Foundations of Prompt Engineering. It's called Introduction to Prompt Engineering, what it is and why it matters.
Good starting point. Fundamentals.
Exactly. And our mission here is to kind of break down these basic ideas from like two angles. First, imagine us as instructors just laying out the core concepts, the building blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll flip it. We'll come at it like a curious student, asking those why this and how does that work questions, just trying to really get it.
That sounds like a great approach. Make it super clear for anyone wanting to get better at, interacting with AI.
Yeah, make it stick.
And just so everyone knows, while Foundations of Prompt Engineering is our main guide for this lesson, we're also pulling in some insights from other places.
Yeah.
Helps get a fuller picture.
Right. Other perspectives.
Yeah, exactly. Like you might hear ideas that echo stuff from folks like Nick Seriev or Corbin Brown on YouTube, maybe some angles from IBM Technology or Zero to Mastery.
Okay.
We're also considering principles from, say, the Prompt Engineering Handbook or the Exercises and Applications book, even stuff from AI Foundations, Tiago Forte. It all helps flesh out this first lesson.
Cool. A well-rounded look then.
Yeah.
So let's jump in. Instructor hat on first. In simple terms, really basic, what is prompt engineering? What are we talking about?
Okay. So at its core, prompt engineering is basically the skill or maybe the art of crafting the inputs, the prompts that you feed into these large language models or, other generative AI tools.
Crafting the inputs.
Yeah. And the whole point is to get the specific desired outputs you're actually aiming for. It's fundamentally about how you communicate effectively with an AI, giving it the right instructions.
Effective communicator. Okay, that makes sense. But what does that look like in practice? What are the actual actions involved in prompt engineering?
Well, it's a few key things. First, there's the design phase, thinking about what info needs to go in, how to structure the prompt.
Right, planning it out.
Then you actually write the prompt, trying to be clear, concise, but, and this is important, it doesn't just stop there.
Oh.
A huge part of it is refining. Optimizing. You look at what the AI gives back and you tweak your prompt. It's iterative.
Iterative, like back and forth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You keep adjusting until you get results that are high quality, accurate, what you actually wanted. It's rarely perfect on the first try.
Hearing you describe that iterative part, it sounds less like just barking an order and maybe more like guiding, like steering a conversation.
That's a really good way to put it, actually.
Yeah.
Guiding. Conversational steering. Yeah.
Is there another analogy maybe?
Well, another helpful way some sources frame it is thinking of it like programming, but, with natural language instead of code.
Programming with words.
Sort of. You're using specific words, certain structures, principles, the characters even, to instruct the LLM. Think of it like giving really precise instructions to this super powerful digital assistant that doesn't always guess your intentions perfectly.
A digital assistant needing clear directions. Got it. Okay, let's switch hats. Student mode.
Okay. Questions ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First thing that pops into my head is, well, we kind of interact with AI all the time, right? Asking Siri the weather, searching Google, is that prompt engineering? What makes this different, more engineered?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And yeah, those daily interactions, they are simple prompts. Absolutely.
Oh.
But the engineering part really kicks in when things get more complex, or you need something really specific from an LLM. Like a simple search query is fine for finding a fact.
Sure.
But if you want the AI to, say, write a poem or analyze some complicated data or perform a task with a lot of nuance, that's when how you ask becomes absolutely critical.
Oh.
It's about moving beyond just asking simple questions to like strategically building prompts that really guide the AI towards a specific outcome.
So higher stakes, more complex goals, that's where the engineering comes in. But still, these LLMs, they're trained on just unbelievable amounts of text. They seem to get natural language so well. Why can't they just figure out what we mean, even if we're a bit vague?
Yeah, that's really the crux of why prompt engineering is, well, necessary.
Yeah.
They are amazing at processing language, finding patterns, generating text based on what they've learned. But their understanding isn't like ours. It's based on probabilities, on the connections in that massive data set they trained on.
So it's not real understanding?
Not in the human sense,
Hmm.
which means even prompts that seem clear to us can sometimes lead to answers that are way too broad or just plain wrong, those hallucinations we hear about.
Right, the made-up stuff.
Or just responses that aren't quite aligned with what you actually intended. They don't automatically grasp context or nuance like a person does. So we have to be much more deliberate, more explicit.
Okay, the limitations. Even for these super smart models, that actually leads perfectly into the why it matters part, but from the instructor view again.
Right. Why is this so critical?
Yeah. Why bother getting good at this?
Okay, well, first and foremost, prompt engineering is just fundamental if you want to unlock the full potential of these LLMs. Without good prompts, you're honestly just scratching the surface.
Just getting basic stuff back.
Pretty much. Effective prompts are like a steering wheel. They let you guide the AI precisely towards specific tasks, specific outcomes, things you just couldn't get with vague instructions.
And we touched on errors, but maybe dig in a bit more. How does good prompting help with those hallucinations?
Yeah, it's crucial for that
Yeah,
because these models learn from the internet, right? Which is vast, amazing, but also full of inconsistencies, errors, biases.
sure. It's messy.
Very messy. So LLMs can easily generate stuff that sounds plausible but isn't true. Good prompt engineering helps fight that. You
Yeah.
provide clear context, maybe constraints, specific instructions that kind of ground the model.
Perfect.
Yeah, guide it towards more reliable information or processes. You're essentially putting up guardrails.
Yeah.
Keep the AI on track, make it less likely to just make things up.
Okay, guardrails. Makes sense. So it provides focus, boundaries. What else makes prompt engineering so important from that teaching perspective?
Specificity, absolutely vital. Think
Yeah.
about it. Ask a general question, get a general answer. Usually not that helpful.
Right, too generic.
Exactly. To get results that are actually useful, tailored to what you need, you have to be explicit, unambiguous. Prompt engineering teaches you how to feed the AI the necessary details, the context, so its response actually hits the mark.
Can you give an example?
Sure. It's the difference between asking, say, tell me about climate change, versus summarize the key findings regarding Arctic sea ice melt from the latest IPCC report, formatted as bullet points for a non-expert audience.
Ah, okay. Much more specific.
Way more specific.
Yes.
And likely to give you a much more useful output.
That precision definitely clicks. Okay, and one more angle. Efficiency. How does getting good at this help us save time or resources?
Oh, massively. Effective prompting is way more efficient.
Yeah.
If you can get closer to the result you want on the first or maybe second try, you save so much time and potentially computing resources.
Instead of trying over and over.
Right. Instead of endless cycles of tweaking vague prompts and getting frustrated, a well-designed prompt gets you there faster. Big productivity boost when you're working with AI.
Okay, that paints a clear picture from the instructor side. Back to the student hat.
Ask away.
This sounds great in theory, but where is this actually being used? Like right now, in the real world, who's doing prompt engineering?
Excellent question. It really grounds the concept. And the answer is, well, it's already spreading across tons of different fields.
It.
Okay, so software developers, they're using it to help generate code, debug things.
Yeah.
Content creators, marketers, using it to draft articles, social media posts, ad copy. Researchers are using it for analyzing big data sets, summarizing papers.
Oh, okay.
Even in areas like law, finance people are exploring it for reviewing documents, pulling out key information. It's honestly becoming a core skill for almost anyone wanting to seriously leverage AI in their job.
So it's definitely moving beyond just the tech bubble. Okay, another student question. How much difference does a good prompt really make? Like, can tiny changes in wording have a big impact?
Oh, absolutely. A huge impact. Our sources really emphasize this. LLMs are incredibly sensitive.
Sensitive how?
Sensitive to even subtle tweaks in how you phrase things, the structure you use, a small change in wording, adding one specific detail, framing their request slightly differently. It can lead to dramatically different outputs,
Yeah.
often significantly better outputs.
Really? That's sensitive.
Yeah. Think of it like tuning a very sensitive instrument. Tiny adjustments can make the sound much clearer, much richer. That sensitivity is why understanding the nuances of how you talk to the AI is so critical.
Okay. Wow. Last student question for now. Is this prompt engineering thing here to stay? Is it a fundamental skill we all need for the future, or is it just like a temporary hack while the AI gets smarter?
That's a big one. And the general consensus among people who study this is pretty
Yeah.
clear. Prompt engineering is not just a fleeting trend.
No.
No. As AI gets more and more woven into, well, everything we do, work, daily life, the ability to communicate effectively with these systems, that's only going to become more important.
So it's foundational.
Exactly. It's becoming a core competency, a fundamental skill for navigating this future, where we work alongside advanced AI. Think of it as a key piece of the human-computer interaction puzzle for the foreseeable future.
Okay, that really clarifies the why. So, looking ahead, thinking about the next steps in foundations of prompt engineering, what core ideas or techniques does lesson one kind of hint at that we'll likely explore more later?
Well, Lesson 1 really sets the stage. It introduces the idea that good prompts usually have specific parts, clear instructions, relevant context, maybe some examples of what you want.
Right, the components of a good prompt.
Exactly. Future lessons will definitely dive deeper into those elements, and they'll explore specific techniques like few-shot prompting.
Few shot.
Yeah, where you give the AI just a couple of examples to show it what you're looking for. Or chain of thought prompting, which kind of encourages the AI to show its work, to explain its reasoning steps.
Interesting.
And we'll definitely get into the iterative nature of more. You systematically test and refine prompts to get the best possible results.
And it sounds like this whole field is moving fast, so always learning.
Precisely. The world of prompt engineering is super dynamic. New techniques pop up, best practices evolve, all because the AI models themselves are constantly getting better. It makes it a really fascinating and crucial thing to keep learning about.
Okay, this has been a fantastic breakdown of these initial ideas. So, if we had to boil it down, what's the single key takeaway from this deep dive into lesson one?
I think the core message is this. Prompt engineering isn't just a fancy term. It's the essential skill for talking effectively with AI. It's what lets you really harness the power of these LLMs, guide them towards your specific goals, get high-quality results, and importantly, minimize those errors and weird outputs.
Moving from just asking questions to actually directing the AI.
Exactly. Strategic guidance.
And for you, the listener, listening right now, what's maybe one practical thing you could do, like today?
Good question. Maybe just start paying more conscious attention to how you already interact with AI tools, even simple ones. Pick a small task you want AI to help with. Oh, summarizing an email, maybe drafting a social media post, whatever. Then try asking for it in a few different ways. Change the wording, add a detail, remove one. Just notice how those small changes affect the output.
Experiment, basically.
Yeah, but hands-on tinkering is really the best way to start building that intuition, those prompt engineering muscles.
Definitely feels like we've just opened the door here. There's a lot more inside.
Oh, for sure. This first look at Lesson 1 is just the beginning. There's a whole world of techniques and deeper understanding still to explore in prompt engineering.
So maybe a final thought to leave everyone mulling over. As these AI models keep getting smarter, more capable, more integrated into everything, how do you think this art and science of talking to them, prompt engineering, how will that change and evolve? What new ways of communicating might we need or discover? And what could that unlock?